morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. This is a free reading Friday. I'm your host, Mike Barra, in Seattle, Washington. And that lovely lady with the lustrous hair, you look beautiful today, Jen.
Thank you.
Is the lovely lady with the lustrous hair, Jennifer Falah, Doreen in Hayden, Idaho. Jen, how is your Friday going so far?
Great. I'm excited. I get to meet the wonderful Dave Barra tonight for the first time. I've known him for many years, and we get to meet. We're going to go to dinner. It's going to be fun.
That sounds really nice. Tell him I said hi.
I will.
Tell him he owes me money. He doesn't really, but just tell him that anyway. And it's going to be really kind of cool. And remember, here's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. We're identical twins. We're not the same person. So understand that he's very different from me, really. Superficially, we're identical. Deep down, we're very different. So meeting him is not the same as meeting me. I just want you to understand that.
I know. We got to do that, too. I got to meet you.
Yeah. So, when you're sitting there going to yourself, listening to Dave, and you're going to yourself, God, this guy's a complete jag-off. That's not me.
Oh, my God. I love Dave. I knew Dave first.
I could be a good person.
I know Dave. I know what Dave's like.
I know. Who doesn't know Dave's like? Well, that's good news. Okay, so in terms of news and things, there really isn't a lot. I'm going to save what little news I might have for tonight's Friday Night Frolic show with Brooks and Candace and Blake. And there really just isn't anything. I mean, we're in a lull. And it's so interesting that, Monday, after your meditations on Sunday, you told everybody, hey, 2 weeks, they've been given 2 more weeks to complete this financial deal. And then everything has stopped. Even the global political stuff has sort of come to a stop. I mean, a couple days ago, although one thing is interesting is Jack Posobiec, who is a mainstream CIA plant, said something's big. Something big is coming. Something's coming. Something feels really big. And he said the room intel, which is also known as roomtel or rumortel, is off-scale strange right now. And that was 3 or 4 days ago. But now, again, Jen, nothing's happened. We had the disgusting specter of Steve Bannon being sent to jail for contempt of Congress, which, first of all, isn't even a prosecutable crime. It's not a crime. You cannot legally really send somebody to Congress who's protected under executive privilege, which Steve Bannon is. These disgusting bastards keep doing what they're trying to do, violating every law and norm. And I just feel like, what are the letters? Letters are, hang on. Yeah, the letters are KTAALGSTO. Okay, that's what I want to say. I can't say it on YouTube. The last word is out. The G is God, and the S is sort. So you figure it out from there, what I'm saying. I am so done with them. I'm so done with the left. I'm so done with their crimes and their misdemeanors and their stuff. But honestly, Jen, not a lot is happening in the news. You got anything?
Well, the 2 weeks didn't come from me. That was a while back that I was told there would be 2 weeks on a certain something. I don't know how long ago that was, but what I got on Tuesday and Friday, either when, was that Donald Trump is the chief financial negotiator officer of the alliance, and he had the people told them a while back, hey, take care of this Ukraine thing. They're stockpiling money. They're trying to come back. They're trying to save themselves. And there was something going on with Iraq, and he said, this is not good. I don't like it. Come back to me when you have a solution. And so what they did is they came to Washington, and that was supposed to be okay, we're coming back to you with a solution. We're done. And I don't know what happened after that. He may have said, well, I'm not quite happy with this.
But that was a week ago. That was a week ago. We're only halfway through that.
But I never gave a 2-week note thing.
Right,
I gave
but I'm sorry. And
20 days. The 20 days was for Grassley.
Right. Right. That's a separate thing. He pops up in 20 days as of Sunday or Monday. What I forgot to tell you, I think on Wednesday, is that I passed Jen's Gentel on to Mark Z. Gosh, when I was traveling, so that would have been Tuesday, because I was in the Amsterdam airport, having forgotten my laptop and CPAP machine, which cost me $2,500. And I said, what I heard is it's 2-week delay for Iraq to get their act together. And he said that's exactly what I've heard. So you have a completely separate source who doesn't pay attention to Jen or I or our show, giving us the same information. So I think that's pretty significant stuff. I'm trying to think if there's any other little details like that need to be sorted out.
It always goes really quiet before something big happens.
Right.
And everybody gets discouraged, and everybody's like, well, even Phil I saw put out a chat today, or shared his personal chat, that, one of two things could happen. We've been fooled this whole time.
Yeah.
Or everything's about to happen. But when it gets quiet, sooner or later something happens, okay? And let me ask you this. You guys have been following me for a long time. Have I ever been right about anything?
Been right here and there, Jen.
And how often am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, in the long term, not very often.
Well, and those people that come to me for personal readings, the percentage is pretty small. So why the heck would the angels and God and everybody send me to this show to start talking about politics and getting answers for you guys if it's all a bunch of crap?
Right.
I wouldn't be here. I'm not sent in for no reason. It's not like I'm so great or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, the course of my life, there's a reason when I am sent somewhere to do some work, and I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If we've been fooled.
And by the way, I want to remind everybody that there was somebody that I was going to run into in England, and I asked you about them, and you told me this person will be this, and this way. They behaved exactly as you told me they were going to, which was not what I expected. I mean, not that I didn't expect you to be right, but I expected them to be this way, and you said, no, they're going to be this way, and this way. You could not have nailed it more perfectly. And if you're not psychic, how the hell did you know that? And it was very detailed information. So again, Jen.
Well, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not worried about people not thinking I'm psychic. I'm just worried about people losing hope and thinking that nothing of this is real and we're really going down the tubes and there's no good guys, there's no alliance, there's no this. I'm going to go back to, we can't ignore everything that we know and everything that we've seen just because it gets quiet and just because we get discouraged. How did I know it was going to be Leahy? We could go back over many, many things. And anybody that has had a reading with me, you can go ahead and comment in the thing. And I'm not telling you this to toot my own horn. I'm telling you this because just don't deny your instincts. Don't deny everything that you have learned and everything that you have seen and everything that you know deep down. This isn't just some kind of fantasy. And if things get quiet, there's a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do? And what do we know about the guy at the helm? He does not tell the enemy what he's going to do. And so if it gets quiet, appear weak when you're strong, something's happening. And I'm expecting it any day now. And I trust in what I've gotten. Now, what I've gotten could be misinterpreted. I could put my own stuff in there. I'm a human being, and it's coming through my own filters, and every psychic and every intuitive and every person, it's in their interpretation of things is going to come through their own filters. But you guys know when you've heard something true. You can feel it. And I can too. And trust in God. Trust in God. He's not going to have all of these faithful people and just lead them astray and leave them leave them on the side of the road and let the evil win. No.
Yeah.
Listen, worst case scenario, if everything goes to crap, we're going to rise up and take it. So you think people won't? Think they're going to lay down and die? Not in this country. Not in this country. So don't worry. I am still hopeful. Any day now we're going to see some big results. And so don't throw in the towel yet.
Yeah, and you know what I meant on Telegram when I said, welcome to Mike Barrett 2020, Phil, was that, I pointed out to everybody back then that, look, Q is one of two things. It's either the truth and it's reality, or it's flypaper. And it's designed to keep us on the Q plantation and out of the streets fighting these people until they can finish the job. So it's a good guy or a bad guy thing. But I said this, it's a binary choice. And so again, look at all the things that have come true. Look at Donald Trump on the White House lawn on November 12th, 2021, when Jen told you that was going to happen, and it happened. Look at the mechanic telling you Donald Trump was in Colorado last week, meeting with Space Force officials. Why does somebody who's not president meet with Space Force officials? You can put all these things together, and clearly something's happening. But I understand everybody wanting, I do. I want that big piece. I want that big piece that says, okay, yes, and we haven't got it yet. So,
well, it's funny because the other day I put something out and I was just sitting around thinking. And the little story about the little boy that cried wolf.
Yeah.
The boy runs in, the wolf's coming, the wolf's coming, the wolf's coming, the wolf doesn't come. Everybody prepares, the wolf doesn't come. Wolf's coming, the wolf's coming, and then everybody gets tired of it. And there's no wolf. You're a liar, blah, blah, blah. We haven't seen it. Sooner or later, that wolf came. And those people weren't prepared. And that was bad. Now, I'm telling you, all these truthers, all these people, not all of them. Some of them were the misinformation is probably to throw the enemy off. So, we don't really know. And we can't really know. But what we've been given is enough to keep us going for a reason, not to keep us quiet. So, I just know it's coming. I just know it's coming. And I have seen too much evidence that all the Q posts and everything, that's too good. That's too good. And one thing that I have told people many, many times, and I have seen, and I'll tell them when, sooner or later, evil trips over its own feet. It cannot maintain the facade of goodness and purity and love for very long. It will trip over its own feet and reveal itself. And the good guys haven't done that. It's been a long time. So, trust your instincts. Hang in there. And even in the financial, we've got people that work in this industry. We've got people that are working on it that are telling you, I'm working on this right now.
Yeah, literally, and again, the mechanic, when I first told him about it, because he and we met through a guy that was talking about ways to access the birth certificate bond, right? In these seminars. And then I told him, well, what if that's not it? What if it's this revaluation of the currencies? What if it's the Iraqi dinar? And he said, well, let me make some calls. So he called a friend at the Clowns in America. Guy said, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's not going to happen. That's crap. You've been listening to a bunch of nonsense. But I'll check it out. I'll make a few calls. So then he called the mechanic back 2 or 3 days later. And he spent $100,000 of his own money buying Iraqi dinar in 2011. Okay. As far as I know, he still has it. So Believe me, it's real. And there are people in government where it's real. I talked to Mark Z about the people that he knows, who his sources are. There are people that would know, and it's real. So it's really happening. You just gotta. It's so hard because it's so exciting, Jen. It's so exciting. Oh my God, I was in Manchester. I would love to have stayed in Manchester and go on a date and go to a Manchester City game and spend another week there. I just couldn't afford to. I had to come home. Mm-hmm. I would love to upgrade to first class where I could have laid down and maybe slept.
Yeah.
In a little bit instead of being tortured in a coach seat for 10 hours. But it'll happen. It's happening.
So they let you get up and walk around on that plane on that kind of flight? Because I would just be a mess.
You can, but it's just the nature of my bulging discs is that it creates pressure on my left hip, left sciatica, and my tailbone. So, it helps a little bit to have a softer seat. But, airplane seats, here's another thing. God damn it. When this happens, you know what's going to happen? Every airplane seat on this planet is going to be upgraded to a super soft, highly cushy, mold-forming, specifically molded for your butt memory foam seat. That's what we're going to have.
No more damn it, right on.
No more of these crappy coach seats. So that it relieves pressure. So I just, after an hour, try to shift, and there's no room to shift because there's a person next to me, and it's just miserable.
I can't sit for that long. I'm just like, I got to get up. I got to move. I
do. And you should too. You on a long flight like that, you should get up at least once an hour. At least once every 2 hours, but once an hour, and walk around and stretch your legs, which I did on a regular basis. And that's when I felt the best, was when I was standing up. But most people don't. That's how you get a pulmonary embolism. You get a blood clot. It travels to your heart. It's bad news.
Wow.
And gravity seats. Yeah, that would be good. Well, the other solution would be a med bed, which would fix my bulging discs, and then I wouldn't have that problem. So,
and also, you guys have to understand that when I came into all of this, I didn't follow politics. I didn't even watch the news. I didn't like politics because it made everybody fight in my family, and I don't like that kind of conflict around me. I like peace. I'm a peacemaker. So I had the radio station, and Dave Vera had a show on my radio station, and I produced for him, and I started talking to him and getting to know him, and then I got to know Mike, and they started asking me questions. Actually, I was an anonymous source for a while, even without a cool code name, which I'm still mad about.
What?
Probably for about 6 months before I even was asked to be on the show.
Didn't I call you the Oracle? No.
I said, where's my cool code? I was an anonymous source. I'm like, well, thanks. Anyway, so, but they would ask me questions. I'm making dinner or I'm doing something, and they call me. All right. And they'd ask me, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? And I'm like, and I was getting information at the time, not knowing anything about anything, that matched up with what people were saying. It matched up with these Q posts, and they kept saying, well, that's what the Q post says. Well, that's what this says. And I'm like, who's this Q? I mean, who names himself after a letter? How egotistical. I mean, and I started looking into it, and I'm like, there's time travel involved in this. This is way too complicated. There's something to this. And then, Mike got a reading for me. And he's like, you got to be on the show. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to be seen. I'm too fat. I'm like, I don't want to be.
Well, that's why you weren't on, because you didn't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen.
I do radio. I don't do show. I don't do TV
you're
or
so
anything.
Cute. I told you, you're so cute, Jen.
It's like, I don't want to do that. And and so I'm like, okay. And then when I asked, Gabriel said, it's time to be seen. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And this is part of my journey. I was all in the spiritual circles, and I was doing readings for people, and I was doing radio, and we were talking about all kinds of things. But I wasn't talking about politics. But I'll tell you, even before that, When I came into even paying attention to Donald Trump, it was during the election with Clinton, and they were debating, and I was kind of seeing that. My husband at the time, or my boyfriend at the time, we weren't married yet, would turn on the news sometimes, and I'd see the debate, and I'm like, she's calling him Hitler, and I'm like, wait a minute, something's going on. And so I kind of tune into this guy, and I'm listening to him talk, and I'm like, I know exactly what kind of person this is. I was raised by one, but the one I was raised by was not nice. But he is. This guy is on fault, even if it hurts. Honest to a fault, and he says what he means, and he means what he says. And I looked at her, and I'm like, whoa. The energy coming off that woman was Satan. Like,
yeah, Satan.
Oh my God. And I'm like, what is going on here? And then I kind of pulled back from it. I'm like, I don't like politics. I don't even want to be involved with this. But, you know, I knew what he was pushing. I didn't know. I just knew that is a good man. That is a good man. And that one is the spawn of Satan. That's all I know. That is all I know.
Uh-huh.
And then people later on, before the election in 2016, I was at a family gathering, and my parents are Republicans, and they had it on the TV, and I said, he will be the most loved president ever. And they're like, they say he's going to lose. Is it? That's crazy. And I'm like, well, you know, that's what I do, the crazy stuff. And like, I go, you just wait. What is he now? What is he now? So it's that intuition. It's that something you just know that you got to listen to. And all this time, you guys, this has made you stand up to family, jobs, everything, relationships, because you just know. You just know what's right, and you just know what's coming. It's not a fantasy. It's not something we all made up and like, oh, wouldn't it be great if, you know, this, that. I have received information from the angels that surprises me, that surprised me. I told you in the beginning, I didn't think there'd be any checks. I didn't think there's any payback to the people. I didn't think there was any trust. I didn't think there was anything. And then at the end of a meditation, Gabriel said, come here, I want to show you something. And he shows me this check, and it was to me. It was a significant amount, and I'm like, totally surprised by it. So it's not something I created. It's not something I decided. I was on my way out. I was like, okay, see you later. He goes, hang on, just come over here. I want to show you something. So there's many, many times when we have received information that turned out to be true. Yes, I have been a lot more accurate about individual people because that's my thing. But do not deny what you know and where you've been. Because the waiting is hard. That's what faith is about.
You know, Jen, what I say to people is, because there's a lot of people, Richard Doty is a very famous UFO investigator, researcher guy. He used to work for the clowns. He's actually seen footage of the Roswell crash. He was shown as part of his briefing, this is what we actually found. Including, yes, a live alien, dead ones, live ones, crash flying saucers. And I believe that he's telling me the truth when he says that. And he's been involved in counterintelligence disinformation campaigns. But he's now out speaking about everything he knows. And he said, you know, I'd heard of you, Mike, but I didn't know you. And so I checked you out, you know, before I came here to this conference to find out who you were. He says, and what I found is a bunch of people really, really, really loved you. Couldn't have spoken more highly of you. And quite a few people hate your guts. and I said, well, that's because I speak the truth. But here's the thing. What I tell people and you should tell people this too, is to sit back, look them in the eye, know that you exist in the name of God, because we all do, but especially you, and to a lesser extent people like me. And what I tell them is, you can doubt me, you can mock me, you can say I got this wrong or I got that wrong, but it's only right now that it's wrong. Because in the end, I will be proven right about everything. And in the end, Jen, you will be proven right about everything.
Or a large percentage.
That's where I stand. No, I say everything because it may as well be. It's going to be so close. It's going to be everything. That's where I stand is, okay, whatever. Say whatever you want, because in the end, I will be right about anything. In the end, I will be basically the only member of the UFO community who told you the election was stolen. Trump is the real president. He has the nuclear codes. Biden is a fraud. We really went to the moon. Planes brought down the Twin Towers. Oh, we'll argue that.
Don't go there.
Actually, can I tell you a story?
Oh my God, here we go.
Because you said you see bombs, right? Remember that? And we have a disagreement about that.
I said it's both.
What I'm saying is you, as far as I can tell, there's no bomb. There were no bombs involved. And you don't need bombs to bring down the Twin Towers, to badly damage building number 7 or the Pentagon. Get this. I'm talking to Whitley Strieber. Now, I know you don't really know who Whitley Strieber is, but folks, Whitley Strieber is one of the most famous people on the planet in the UFO community. Let me see if I can. He wrote the book Communion, okay, which was the first book. And you walked into a bookstore and you saw, let me show you. He was a fairly well-known novelist and screenwriter. He wrote Wolfen, which was made into a movie, The Hunger, which is a vampire thing starring David Bowie and Catherine Deneuve. Fabulous movie, right? But let me show you real quick who Whitley is if you don't know. So let me turn the chat overlay off. So this is Whitley Strieber as he appears today. He's in his 70s now. But this was his book. It was called Communion, A True Story. And this is the first time people really got to see what the Greys looked like, what later became known as the Greys, right? He was the guy who said, this is who they are, this is what they do. There was a film made out of his experiences. Christopher Walken played him. You can probably pick that up somewhere.
One of my favorite actors.
So, and you guys can see these images, right? I want to just double check that you can see these images. So, yes. So we were talking, and he told me a story, and I hope everybody in the chat could see the images. And we were talking about, we got on to 9/11, and whoops, let me go back to chat overlay, bring the chat overlay. Got on the 9/11 a little bit, and I explained to him, look, what I'm going to talk about tomorrow is about these TTSA videos, the To the Stars Academy, how I don't really think that they're alien spacecraft, and I'm going to show you some space shuttle videos that I think are alien spacecraft, and tell them all that. Not, that's the way I operate. And I get a lot of hate because, and this is Richard was there and Whitley, who I was talking to mainly. I said I get a lot of hate because I tell people, looks to me like planes brought down the Twin Towers, right? And he said, well, I have a story about that. He said, when the Twin Towers, World Trade Centers were being built, I was being flown around in a private plane. I mean, he was famous for, a famous writer, as famous as a writer can be, right? I was being flown around in a little plane as the Twin Towers were being built. And we were flying around, and they were, 3/4 of the way up. And he was like, oh my God, this is just the most amazing thing. I mean, imagine how magnificent these are going to look when they finish it. And he said, the pilot turned to him and said, I worked on the construction for those for a while, but I quit to do this, to fly planes, take people on tours of New York City. And Whitley said, well, why'd you quit? And he said, because I saw them when they were building the towers. It looked to me like they were wiring up explosives on every floor all the way up.
Wow.
That's what he told Whitley. And Whitley's not lying to me. Strieber did not bullshit me. And he said, and Whitley said, I don't know that actually had anything to do with bringing the towers down, but he said he felt like there was a contingency plan to blow them up in a fake act of terrorism if they had to. So I think if that story is true, I believe the story Whitley told me is true, but if the guy's story is true, the pilot really did see this, then Jen, in the end, we're both going to be right.
It's the only way that they could put it there. There's no way that they could get in there and put that much without being seen as an active building.
All the drilling and everything they would have to do, everybody would have known that they wired the thing for explosives unless they did it at the beginning. And do you remember what Trump said when he got to Ground Zero? The day it happened, 9/11? He said, I just can't imagine these big, powerful steel buildings coming down like this. It almost feels like there would have to be bombs involved. Trump said that. So I think what I'm saying, and what I'm going to say is, if that story's true, I don't think that's the reason the towers came down. I think the jets were sufficient, but they had a backup plan. So they had both bombs and the planes, just in case the planes didn't bring the towers down. That's what I think.
I think the planes were the cover for blowing the bombs.
Hang on. You broke up there. You think the planes were the cause for blowing up the bombs, or
cover?
I don't think so.
So both. That's just what I saw, but I don't want to ever talk about this with you again because you get mad at me. That's your deal. That's your thing. I'll answer everything else, but I usually
never want to talk about this. I
don't touch that one with you because you're so you love it so much, and I'm like, you know what? He can have that one. I don't need to answer.
God help me, I love it so. God help me, I love it so. Yes, I do.
I was gonna say something, but I can't remember what it is now. Damn it.
So,
all right.
I'm just gonna give you guys an example. That's the kind of shit you don't get anywhere else. Okay, is Phil gonna have that? No, Phil's not gonna have that.
Oh, and another thing, in the beginning, there's so much that I've put out on this show, and we've talked about in the last it's been over 2 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I told you that there were 2 presidents, right? And that's and then Dave came in and told us about the interregnum. Mm-hmm. And I told you that there was some kind of rules of war manual written somewhere that if it was known and that the actor wasn't the full president, then they could attack the United States. And if that did happen, he would become, because of some war, I didn't even know there was a law of war manual, but I was saying it's written somewhere in this rules of war that if there is an interregnum or whatever, that if they were attacked, he would have full power. And so there's a reason why things have been done behind the scenes. Everything, if you really walk through the whole thing, makes a lot of sense. I've been telling you over and over again, all these things that we find out, either behind the scenes or for what we hear about have been confirmed. But, not to toot my own horn, but just my purpose here is, because I don't like to do that. My purpose here is to keep going. So, I'm a medical intuitive. It is one of my strongest gifts. I can people come to me, thousands of people come to me, and I can say this with full confidence because the doctors can't find out what's wrong. I can look out inside your body and I can tell you what I see to take back to the doctor. And my accuracy on that is about 95%. Now, if I can do that, do you think I would really be here and tell you all this stuff all this time if it wasn't true? I mean, I can see Jesus face to face because he's the one who helps me do that for people because it's important. I'm a healer. They're the healers. I'm the lady that walks in and says, please do this. I have to keep my intent true and honest, and in every day I ask, please help bring hope and truth to the people. And I've stepped into this position to help people in this way. Not just this truther thing. That's like that's on the side of all the other stuff that I've done or that I do. The majority of what I do for a living now is the healings and helping people. And to be completely honest, many have been healed, and even cancer, by God. Okay? And he's not going to send me in to do something like this for this long if he's not giving me truth. Now, it may not all be true, and it's never him. It's always me that screws it up. But I wouldn't even be here if it's not happening. All right? So you guys just hang in there.
So the fact that Jen is even here on this show, doing this show with me, when talking about the stuff that I talk about, should prove to you that what I'm talking about, telling you about, Jen is confirmation of that. Divine confirmation.
Of the whole thing. It's not something to keep us on the side so that we can be destroyed.
Right.
Because I don't talk to evil. I'm the chick it runs from, all right? And I'm just going to tell you that right now because I can zoom into your house and I will get rid of them. I go in with Jesus and the archangels, and that is a God-honest truth. And I am not going to talk to anything dark. So if this whole thing is some evil plan to make everybody go down the tubes, I would not be a part of it.
No, and that, again, is another proof as to why it's real. It's it's really hard to hold out and really... And again, I never wanted the show to be about these subjects. It just kept going that way and going that way. Yeah. It's almost like when you joined the show, the angels pushed it in that direction. I hid for a long time that I knew about the DNR on this show. I didn't talk about it. And then finally it was like, well, it seems to be what we're supposed to be talking about, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, but we talk about everything. I mean, we talk about the whole political situation, the geopolitical, everything that's going on, the 17th stuff and, people's questions and what can we expect and the financial. I mean, it's just, we just go on with it. And I trust that I have been led to this place for a reason, because everything else in my life and every other thing that I've worked on has come full circle, and I just know with all my heart and soul that God wouldn't do that to me. I wouldn't keep going on and on and on about something that's not true. So
no.
Yeah, here we go.
Speaking of cancer, I have next week, I'm going to have a skin cancer removed off my knee, which I've had for like 10 years. It's not the spreadable kind. It's just going to have to be, it's basal cell carcinoma. People get it all the time. I've had this little spot for like 10 years and it keeps getting bigger, and a doctor biopsy said, yeah, we got to get rid of it. So I'm going to have that done. I'll probably be very sore for a week or two. Sometime next week, and Jen, I don't remember what day. I think I scheduled it for a Tuesday or Thursday, where we're not on, but I'm not positive. I don't remember. I got to check my details, but that will be coming up next week. And the day of, if it's the day of, I probably will skip the show because I think it's 10 or 11 in the morning, as I recall. So that's happening. And there's one other thing that I wanted to bring up, which I sort of glossed over, which is that I lost a friend about 10 days ago, a girl named Kirsty Jean West, and I wanted to show her obituary. She was only 22 years or 31 years old. born in 1990. I guess I guess she and her boyfriend got married at the last minute. She passed away peacefully in her home on October 11th, 2022, so 10 days ago. And this is her obituary. I will be placing it on my Facebook a little later. And I can't say that I knew her really well. We never met. She's like an internet friend. We never met, but we were gonna meet. She was gonna come to a show. She was into Ancient Aliens, and she was a big fan, and I was really looking forward to it. And then 3 or 4 months ago, she just got sick, and she ended up in the hospital, and I don't think they ever figured out why. And I think they were talking about a liver transplant, but Jen, I think you looked at her and thought it was a blood thing, but
blood disease.
She just died, and she had 2 kids, and I was really looking forward to someday meeting her and hanging out with her, and now that'll never happen. And it brings me back to Aurora, having to put Aurora down in July, and what I hate about death is the absolute finality of it, that you never in this existence see those people again. And it's interesting because Whitley in his presentation was talking about, and most people don't know this, but in many abductions cases, people see past loved ones. They see their dead loved ones come to help them in the abduction thing. And so he said, in his opinion, that this experience had something significant to do with what we refer to as death. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
You want to know why that is?
Why?
Because these guys, they will give you a created memory. They will give you a created experience. They're pulling from your brain waves and your memories. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what I viewed is when they abduct somebody, they do it in a very humane way, so that the person doesn't remember, and they're right back where they were when they were taken. But they can give you a created memory. They can give you a created experience.
To calm you down, or
they're pulling that information from your
consciousness,
your memories, the data inside your brain. So that you don't resist, or if you should remember, it's a happy thing, and then you're like, oh yeah, these aliens, because you're good. No, they're taking parts of your body. Okay, those ones aren't good. They're like lab assistants. They go and they take parts of your body, your DNA, your eggs, your sperm, whatever they need, and they're worker bees for the cabal, whatever you want to call it, the reptilians, whatever you want to call it, but they definitely look like worker bees to me. Those are the little saucer-shaped craft that you see.
Mm-hmm. Scout ships. The scout ships, as Bob Lazar called them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're coming up from underground. So they will fly around in space, and they can go other places, but the ones that I saw were underground.
Their bases are underground. That's where their operational bases on Earth are, obviously.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's it's sad that, and I don't know if it's evil. I think they're working for evil. I do. They're working for evil.
Well, I think it's contract. I think it's contract work. I think it's a sole contract you make to do this work before you come to the Earth. That's what I think it is.
No, these little alien dudes. No, they're actually contracted to do this.
Oh, okay.
Yes, by bigger bad guys. Okay. The Greys are like minions. Okay. From what I saw. So, and they're coming from here. I don't know where they originally came from, but
Zeta Reticuli.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Zeta Reticuli. Ask about that. Ask if that's true. The Zeta Reticuli binary star system. Or maybe that's just where they live now. I don't know.
Yeah. That's something I'm going to have to more time to focus on.
You know where that came
like
from? One of you know where that came from? One of the most famous first abduction cases was the case of Betty and Barney Hill in 1960, I believe it was. First publicized case, and Betty, after they examined her, was in a room and talking to the commander of the ship, who was basically a gray. And he showed her this star map, and she said, "Well, where do you come from?" And he showed her on the map, and he goes, "Do you know where you are on this map?" And she said, "No." And he said, "Well, then you'll never really figure out where we come from." But later on, somebody did look at a bunch of star charts and figured out this is Earth, this is Sirius, and then this, where they said they came from, is Zeta 1 and Zeta 2 Reticuli. And that's where that came from the 1960s.
But I really think that humans came up with that name. So I don't know what it's really called.
Yeah, no, we don't know what it's really called. Some people call them the Zetans, because they're from Zeta 1 and Zeta 2 Reticuli.
I don't know. I don't want to connect
That's our name. That's our name for the stars. All right. 564 people in the live stream right now. Thank you very much for being here. We do totally appreciate all of you. Once again, the videos will be taken down from Mike Barra 3 and Mike Barra 333 as soon as this is over. Not for Mike Barra 2. Apparently, I'm back on Mike Barra 2, having served my suspension, but I've lost my login for Mike Barra 2, so I don't know how to get in there and delete it. So it's just going to stay up until YouTube bans me again. Probably they'll permanently delete the channel at some point. But Mike Barra 3 and Mike Barra 333, are still up, but they will be pulled down immediately. But you can always pick up the show on mikebarra.blogspot.com. There we are. Maybe I'll have to bring in some more Whitley's videos and put him in. I know he's got a new show out, and a new documentary about his case. I will try to find that and promote that this weekend. Here's the shows. We're also going to have tonight's show. Live. Forget, please, to visit our wonderful sponsors, the CBD Gurus, CBDGurus.com, where you can get all kinds of super cool health products, THC gummies, baths, bombs, soaps, powders, pills, gummies. And if you go to the wholesale tab, click on Mike B Wholesale and type in the discount code ALIEN, Alien. You'll get a bunch of this week's specials, including 6 million Bolivar if you order over $100 worth of stuff. And you can pick up all today's all of this week's different specials, including the pet oil, the CBD pet oil. I need to be giving this to all my kitties and doggies. Put a little bit in their water. Miracle Gold, the Delta 8 gummies, which I've had quite an experience with, and the dark chocolate stuff. So the CBDGurus.com. Patronize them. They're wonderful people. Jen, what's going on over at JenniferFallah.com right now?
Well, I still have my interdimensional meditation classes. This is basically I try to teach you how to do what I do. Go into meditation, sit with God, Jesus, and the archangels. Your loved ones have passed away. Get your own answers. Get your own healing. And take you all the way up to basically remote viewing, which is a projection of consciousness my way. You will receive 6 videos to your PayPal email to own forever. And you'll receive that within 24 hours. Unless it's a weekend and I'm busy, and then you'll get a little later. Okay. But usually I send it right off. Also, right now we have the weight loss healings, and this has been awesome. This is different than any other. I don't just go in there and say, oh, I've done a healing with God and ask for all your fat to go away. No, they're really just taking a deep dive on this one to find out why is it that some people save so much fat and others don't. Is it all their fault? No. And so what we're taking a look at is changing that which is in your DNA, healing anything that's causing that to happen. And then it's a talk with the soul and that subconscious to really get the conscious mind and the subconscious mind working together on the same goals. And so we tell the body what to do and to not save that anymore. And that is my goal, not just to fix it for now, but to stop the suffering that I have suffered and other people. So I'm, personal goal here, all their lives. That's what I'm trying to do. So that, doing my best. So far, it's working. So far, we've had a lot of positive results. You can get that in a 3-month combo. You can get it for 6 months. Just do 2-3 months, or you can just get individual. But purchase there and email me after. Email me after everything. The email is all over the website. Also, we've got the DNA toxin cleanse, DNA correction. This is the mother lode of all healings here. This is basically, we're getting rid of all the toxins, viruses, harmful bacteria, metals, pollutants, evil. I mean, everything, just getting it out. And this is my effort. And then correcting the DNA that the vaccines over your lifetime have altered. And I do, God, Jesus standing right there with me in meditation. Okay. And I'm not going to apologize for that. That's exactly what's happening. And so I'm doing my best. And this is my part, my little thing, my little corner to combat the harmful effects of the jabs. Okay. I've also got readings. I've got gift cards. And I have friends on there who are helping me out with certain things. Susan Gretz is amazing. She does things that I don't do. She does like card reading. She does poem reading. I think she does numerology. She also does, she's the one who can find missing pets or people or items. I am not good at that. I don't know why. And so she's got a mediumship reading up. You can ask her anything in that reading. So you purchase there, email there. Marcy Hell is helping me out with the house cleanse and some personal cleanses. Because I've been doing so many healings, and she is amazing at that. There's a love button there. If you love me, you can send me some tips, or you can combine services and use that button just to put the total amount instead of buying this and buying that. Just email me, tell me what you did. Right down here are the psychic development classes that I did a while ago. Those are available in videos that you can own too. My aim in that is to it's God-based, nothing dark, and it's just basically realizing that you already have these abilities and you use them right now. Just to recognize it and I just lost my train of thought. Damn dementia. Anyway, so get on in there, go to jenniferfalot.com. There's a lot going on. And that's it. I don't think I have any other specials going on right now.
Okay. In terms of, oops, this seems like one of my screens is having connection issues, it says. In terms of my love button, you can get me on CashApp, $MBARA33, or Zelle, MBARA33 at MSN. And I have given a mailing address to a couple of you who wanted to send me physical checks. Speaking of that, Wanda Mack, and Uncle Ron are a couple of special people. And I don't know if you guys are watching. I don't know if you're in today, if you're going to watch it later, but you two are going to get books. I came back with about a dozen books from England. Sold, what do I have? I sold at least 40 or 50, which with a gathering of 200 people, 225 people was really pretty good. But I did bring a few back. And let me make sure this isn't signed yet already. Yeah, okay. So Uncle Ron and Wanda, you guys are going to get a specially autographed book from me. And That's not much given how you supported me, but when I asked for support, I got it. So we're back here doing the show as often as we can. And I appreciate that very much from you guys. So make some contact with me. Email. I think you both have my email. Give me your home addresses and you will get books. The only thing I don't have a copy of is the Moon Book. The Moon Book is the most popular for whatever reason. So I can give you, I've got Mars 1, I've got Mars 2, I've got Hidden Agenda, I've got JFK, I've got one copy of the Triangle, I've got one copy of the Choice. So you guys let me know what you want, and I will absolutely give you and send to you a copy of one of my books with my thanks and appreciation for the love and support. And Jen, we're going to have to do a book giveaway around Christmas time. Don't you think we have to do a book giveaway? We have to figure out a better way to do a system where we can really randomly generate it to somebody who's in the chat. Don't you think? We got to figure it. There's got to be like a random number generator or something. And then somebody has to put out a number. I don't know, somewhere to do that.
And I'll give away gift cards for readings, healings, all kinds of stuff.
So we're telling you right now, assuming we're on the air and we aren't in the 10 days of darkness, that we are going to have Christmas giveaways for Christmas time on this show.
All through the month of December. That's what we should do.
All through the month of December? All
right.
Okay. It's going to get expensive. All right. Let us go look at the streams and get some questions in. We haven't had any questions yet on Free Reading Friday. Let's do some free readings. Kathy Lou would like to ask, please ask again regarding the Trump arrest. Did they change plans? I still hate the idea completely. Do you see Trump getting arrested, detained at all, Jen?
No. Okay,
so no.
I've been saying that from day one.
That's it. No, stand on a no. Let's stand on no. I'm not doing. Gary S. says, good morning, Mike and Jen. Question for Jen. Is there any new word on my new pickup truck? His new pickup. Gary, I think it is. Gary wants to know about his new pickup truck. Anything on his new pickup? Or no?
I'm getting it. He hasn't gotten it yet. So it'll be a few weeks, Gary.
Okay, hang on. All right, Ron just sent me his address. All right, Wanda, I need yours. I'll get may not get them out today, but you guys will get them in the next week or so. Betty McCain wants to know, will Ginger Southern's rent go up next month? Ginger Southern.
Not next month, but probably at the beginning of the year.
Remember, guys, it really helps if we have your real name or the real name of the person you're asking about. So as in A Patriot 99, we don't know who that is. Good morning, Mike and Jen. Jen, you told me I misplaced my jewelry a few months ago, and you were absolutely right. Thank you. You're the best. Never should anyone. So she thought they were stolen, but you said misplaced, and she found them. So
good. Yay.
Jen, you were green when you started. Now you're fantastical. I think that means fantastical.
Cool.
Anyway, group hug. Jen, when do you see the RV? No, we're not going to do that. When it happens. It's so close. Close. We're beyond third base. Okay. Speaking of my trip to Manchester, third base is relevant.
I mean, I'll be okay waiting, but if I never hear that question ever again, I think that's why I keep asking God, come on, can we just do this now so that I never have to hear that question again?
Yeah. So guys, just hang in there. It's coming. It's coming. It's part of the whole package. Greta. Okay. Last spring I lost my French bulldog Bentley. He was 12. What a cute name. He was 12. I held him while he passed. I found a new puppy in June that I bought. There seems to be something very familiar about this guy. He's great. I guess he's asking if Bentley and the new puppy are connected somehow. Don't know. I know you don't really believe in that, right? In terms of animals.
Well, because I know some things. Okay. You have animals at home. Okay. You have spirits at home that are animals of yours that like to hang out with you, that you love each other. And the thing is that they will, and they may have some of the same traits, some of the same qualities when they come to you because they live together at home. So you spend time with one first, and that one goes, and they get another one, and you're like, this is so familiar to me, so familiar to me. Why is it so familiar to me? It's because it was their turn. So don't assume or diminish a connection with the other one that came to you, assuming that it's the old one. Okay? Because I think they're basically just taking turns to be a support system for you in your life. And each is equally as beautiful.
Mr. Glenn says, Mike, I used to work on a Tiger team for BE seats. British, I don't know
Airline.
what BE stands for.
No.
Zodiac seats, and it's criminal to have a 17-inch width seats. Yeah, it is ridiculous. How about let's just make our planes a little bit bigger and the seats more comfortable? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy, the amount of space, especially on a 10-hour flight. It was just like...
It's all about money.
Yeah, and, I'm going back probably to Manchester probably in February to shoot a bunch of stuff, and I'm just gonna have to say, look, you gotta put me in a better seat. And also we'll look at other airlines. No, Amazon didn't receive a payment from my account.
That person's dog's name was Bentley. I had to tell this quick story because it's freaking amazing. So, really quick. When I was about 19, my dad and my stepmother got together, and she had this parrot. Beautiful Amazon parrot, with all the colors and everything. And this beautiful, ornate wrought iron cage, domed thing that you could wheel around, okay? And this parrot, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, before dinner, it's their jungle time or something, it starts squawking, okay? And, so this one day, it would not stop squawking, and we're trying to sit down and have dinner, okay? And so instead of covering the whole thing, they wheeled the entire cage into the bathroom, okay? And he's talking, and he's talking, and so they wheel it into the bathroom, and they turn the light off. So he would not shut up. Close the door, turn the light off, silence. And then he goes, poor Bentley. Poor Bentley. And he just kept going on about, it's so dark. Poor Bentley. And he just kept, and we were just cracking up. He could talk so well. And it was almost like his personality. He knew exactly how to play on our heartstrings to get what he wanted. And so I'll never forget Bentley. It's funny.
I should ask you, there's a kitty on YouTube named, I think, Billy, Billi. And there's this board. And when you push on a button, it says certain things like...
That's amazing. Yeah.
Want to play fan toy, which is her fan toy. And she's like, oh, you want to play the fan toy, or want cuddles, or where's daddy, and there's about, I don't know, 25 or 30 of them. And I'll find the video. One of these days, I'll find the video, maybe the next show, and show you one of the videos of the kitty talking to her mommy using this little board where she can walk up and push with her paw and it says stuff. And mom talks back and just ask you if it's real, if she really does understand what she's asking for and talking about. So we'll have to set that up. You're going to ask right now anyway, are you?
Mm-hmm. It's real. It took a lot of training. I don't know how she pulled that off with a cat. I have seen it done with a dog. I've seen other videos with the dog, and the dog. Yeah, this person.
There is a dog named Kiyush or something who's in Australia, and he tries to talk to his mom. It's like, want like waffles. He likes waffles, so he'll say, want waff. And it's like, it really sounds like he's saying, I want a waffle, want waff. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
Well, Denise, my pet psychic, Denise Sack, who is wonderful pet psychic, helped me with Aurora immensely, said that, cats and dogs, they're just as if the dog is 15 years old, it's just as intelligent as a 15-year-old person. They just can't emote the way we do. So, they get smart. And she says horses can understand English. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. So she had this horse named Steel. Steel was gray colored. And we were when I was visiting Denise in Chicago, we were at the stable with Steel. And I said, Steel, can I take your picture with your mom and put it on the internet? And he looked at me. He turned his head sideways so I could see it. And he said, 1, 2, yes. And then he turned and he posed for me. So he fucking understood what I said.
I had horses growing up. And tell you what, and it depends on how vocal you are with your horse and how long you are with them, or how vocal they have been. I had a horse. Every horse that I ever had, I talked to a lot. I mean, I was just like, happy kid, and talking to them. And I remember I got this ex-barrel race proud cut horse, which they're not fully fixed. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful paint, tricolor, beautiful. And I remember I was running down this long stretch on the side of the road, probably like 6 foot wide dirt, probably goes for a mile. And my friend had this ex-race horse, and she said her horse was so much better than mine and everything. And so she goes, let's race. And so she starts running, and I'm just like laughing, we're trot along. And so I'm like, I lean down, I'm like, come on, Pete, we're losing the race. And I swear to God, like turbo, I felt it coming from the back end. Took off, snorting, shaking his head, ran. I mean, just left her in the dust and ran. But then they get all excited. He ran all the way home, and I had to push off backwards because he was going to run into the corral, and the 4x4 posts were going to just break my knees and hips, and I was so mad. But he understood, because he didn't really care until then. And I said, come on, Pate, we're going to lose the race. And I think the word race, he knew. And he just, I sort of felt like turbo. I mean, it took off. So, yeah. And then my horses would never, like, if I'd fall off somewhere when I was a kid, they'd stand right over me. They never left me. Everybody else's horses left them. They never left me.
Well, yeah. So what she said is that to dogs and cats, what we say just sounds like static. But horses actually understand the language. They learn English, so they understand the language, which I found fascinating. That doesn't mean that a kitty can't be trained to know that if you push this button, this sound, and this sound means I get to play with my fan toy. But it's not the same thing as truly understanding the language.
Oh yeah, animals are much smarter than you know.
Yeah, they are much smarter than you know. Okay, we have some breaking news. Simon Parks has just reported that a subpoena has been issued to President Trump to appear before the fake fraudulent joke January 6th committee. And of course, they're going to have to do this right away. Should he refuse to do so, he will be arrested. I'm not saying you're wrong, Jen, at all. I'm just saying that's the breaking news.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's good TV.
It's desperation is what it is.
Can't arrest a sitting president, for one.
Yeah. Well,
and if he is, that's all theater.
Well, that's the thing, is they could go to arrest him, and then he could say, you can't arrest a sitting president. And they could say, well, you're not a sitting president. Oh, yeah? Read this. Pull out the presidential emergency action document, or somebody else shows it, and everybody goes, holy shit, he's been president the whole time? All right. Ron Davidoff says, Jen lied. She told me I would lose 100 pounds in 2 days. I am just kidding.
Never said that, Ron.
Said that, Ron. Did Mike fly back to London to get his computer? Why was I late? We were a little late coming on today. But we had some things to deal with. No, I did not. Stephen Leister is reminding us that troops are being deployed all around the U.S. to major cities. I believe that is true. That's been reported by multiple sources. Preparation for when, again, you think nothing's happening? Well, then why are the troops being moved around?
Yeah. When was the last time they did that? Why would we do that?
Yeah, we've heard that
before. Like,
before.
well, it's because they're all going to take over and they're going to, hurt the people. No, they're not.
Right. They're going to put in a digital currency, and then none of us are going to be able to go to the bathroom without permission from the government. Jeff Price, morning, Jen, Mike, Gentel Friday. I exist in the name of God. Pull the Band-Aid off already. I agree, but
right.
We don't control these things.
Do it
Deborah
now.
Says, Jen always looks beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Deborah Pearson.
That helps my self-esteem. Thank you.
Glenn says love and hugs. Johnny Half, Dave Barrett, do you have a wrench yet? There's a joke in there somewhere. I forget what it is, but Mike, have you ever physically met Blake, Candace, or even Casey or Fetzer? I've not met Fetzer. Blake, I'm pretty sure Blake and I met, but I'm not positive. Candace, I've had dinner with, and Casey and I met, but didn't really talk at the Dimensions of Disclosure conference in 2019. So I guess I would answer 2 out of 4. Yeah. Speaking of Casey, whatever happened to her? Hope she's happy on her Wyoming dirt farm somewhere. If you ever seen her place, it's just dirt. Wyoming is nothing but dirt. That's a dirt farm. Maybe nothing's happening because everyone's got NDAs. What do you think about that idea from Laura Mills?
Well, I think Laura's very smart.
How's the mechanic? Any updates from him and your Vegas contacts? No, I've put messages out to the mechanic and have not heard back from him, which means he's either busy doing something or they've got him arrested at a Air Force base somewhere again. Well, military base. Yeah, snafu, situation normal, all fucked up. That's what snafu stands for. FUBAR, fucked up beyond all recognition. And LG, KAAT, LGSO. Yeah, that's the same kind of thing. It's called an acronym. Aerospace is full of acronyms. Karen Lewis, please expand on a CDC decision on children being forced to take the COVID jab. When will our civil rights be reinstalled? First of all, your civil rights, government doesn't grant your rights. God does, and the Constitution does. So our rights are not going to be reinstalled. We have to just simply stand up for them by, I don't know.
This is the same damn crap. The CDC says this. So fire everybody that won't get the jab, right? Mm-hmm. And that is unconstitutional. They made a recommendation that it should be on the childhood list of vaccinations. That doesn't mean that you have to give it. I walked into the childhood list of vaccinations, and I didn't know anything. I was given them childhood vax, and then they got to the Gardasil one. And I'm like, what's that? I don't like that. There is something about it, and I wasn't an anti-vaxxer, didn't know anything about it. I'm like, don't give it to them. And they won't. You tell them not to, and they don't.
Yep.
So I do not believe the schools are going to require that they have to have this or they cannot have an education, because they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Yeah, especially in today's climate with the opinions going around about the vaccines. And I think the schools have learned, all right, we're not going to require this anymore for field trips. We're not going to require this anymore for other things. This is the CDC trying to recapture some kind of control.
Right.
And this is all media. That's not government. That is not a law. That is not a mandate. That is nothing. That is just that's news. They put it out.
Yeah, they have no authority to do anything like that. And the only vaccines I think probably were ever worth anything or worth it were polio, which did seem to be a significantly reduce the childhood polio, and probably smallpox. So
the CDC will cease to exist in 6 months.
There you go.
Pisses me off. Pisses me off so bad.
Austin Powers. Hi, Austin. Jennifer, the other day there was some post where Donald J. Trump left out an R somewhere. Did that have anything to do with the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers? Interesting question.
That's a stretch. I don't think so.
Glenn says questions and readings 100%, Jen. Laura says you were right about my personal reading. She was dead right about my encounter in Manchester, I'll tell you that. So Jen, you are always right. Timelines are sometimes off. That's not your fault, right? Because there is this thing that human beings have. You know what it's called, Jen? It's called free will, choice, and it affects things. And the farther away you get, like the farther out the prediction is, the less likely it is to be accurate. But
Well, along this way, there have been times when it's supposed to be done. There have been truthers that received that information and knew the timeline and knew what was going to happen, and even got the intel that it was going to happen. And then human beings changed their mind, and they changed the course.
That brings up Phil's big intel, which we really didn't discuss. Do we have? Okay, let's ask this: have we heard somewhere out in the hills what that event was? I mean, in other words, is it something we've heard of so far, or no? Is it something we've not heard? It's the RV. You think it's okay? That's right.
Yeah. What happened here is Phil stepped into our world with this RV thing. He is not wrong.
But it's funny because
he did receive information that it was coming.
And it was supposed to come during that time frame, but then we had the Trump. I'll give you two more.
And he also knows several things that he can't share. So don't come down on him for that.
You know, it's interesting.
We all know how that goes.
It's interesting because Phil doesn't talk about the currencies very much.
He
talks a lot about silver, and that's his big thing. So he's like the silver salesman. Other people...
Well, it's tied into it. The beginning of Nasara Jasara, and that's why he's interested in it, and it will eventually lead to silver. And it's all tied together. And
yeah, and this is the thing. Nasara happens before the RV. The RV happens before Nasara. It should all happen basically at the same time, what they call a shotgun start. When you hear Bruce talk about shotgun starts, that's what he means. Everything all at once. Bill's Mafia Hitman. I was diagnosed with polycythemia vera, a very rare form of blood cancer, in January. When tested in March, they couldn't find a trace. I attribute it fully to prayer and to God. Well, I hope you got a healing from Jen. So.
Yeah, I'd like to. I do so many, I can't tell you if I remember with the... I do it on real name. So.
Yeah.
I don't know what if that matches up.
I really don't give a fuck how the towers came down. What's important is who knew and that they are brought to justice. This is my point. Stop focusing on ridiculous things like laser beams. Focus on why the attack happened. Kurt Motzinger, don't forget the information from Monkey Works. Troops being deployed around the country. He put a video out 2 nights ago and confirmed it this morning. Something is happening. Jack Posobiec told you something big is happening. He didn't say what, but the rumor tell is off-scale strange. Jack Posobiec is a plant, by the way. You can't trust. Do you know who that is, Jack Posobiec? Do I need to send you a picture of him?
No. I think I share. I think I see his stuff on Twitter. I don't really know who he is. I just, for some reason, I see his stuff and I share it.
He's a Twitter influencer, and he also used to work for CIA. So I don't know whether we should trust him or not. But he tried to claim that Q was actually started by a couple of college kids. One guy named Hashtag or Microchip or something, and it's complete bullshit. So he spread that one far and wide. So sometimes Jack is about 80% information and about 20-25% disinformation.
It's too complicated. I mean, this.
Yeah.
With the clock and the code and everything matching up. And first of all, you could do that with something. But could you do that with the future?
Mm-hmm.
That's not some college kid in the basement.
Yeah. Communion is a great book. Read it when it came out. It is a great book. It is terrifying, however. I told Whitley I burned my copy of it. First edition, I probably should have kept it. Because it scared the shit out of me. Yeah.
Like it's that scary? Wow.
Well, it's just truthful. And remember, he's a horror writer, so he knows how to write scary stuff, but he also was telling the truth. And there's a scene in the film where there's a door and the alien peeks around the door and you see the eye. And literally, that was like 89% 9 or something. I saw it. And literally, I cannot sleep in a room where I have a direct view out my door. Like if the door's open out to the living room, no, it has to be shut. Or it has to be, what I prefer is to have my actual, I don't want to see out in the hallway. I don't want to see out in the hallway.
What's funny is I cannot sleep in a room. Well, I could possibly, but it bothers me if the door's completely shut, like my whole life, because that's my escape. And if it's shut, then I like had scary dreams and as a kid, like if I was trying to get out and I couldn't open the door.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to open, and I always need some kind.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind if the door's open as long as there's a wall. Like in other words, you have to go and turn right before you can go out your bedroom door. Then I'm fine. As long as from my bed, I cannot see out the bedroom door. I'm fine. That's what I
can't have the closet open.
And my kitties. No, the closet has to be closed too. Whitley claims to have heavy communication with his deceased wife. Yeah, he didn't talk about that much the other day, but yeah, he does.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. And he loved that woman so much. You know what we need? Let's pray in. He's not here, but let's pray in a little bit for Whitley. Let's let him. She's been gone since 2015. Let's find him a new love. Let's find him somebody else to come in and be a good wife to him, because he deserves that after everything he's been through. I'm sure she'd be okay with it. No, I don't watch Dark Journalist, so I don't. Let's go back over to Rumble real quick. A lot of Mike Adams, and just don't listen to Mike Adams. Good guy, well-intentioned. Everything's the end of the world. President Trump is having a rally in. Betty wants to know. President Trump's having a rally in Texas tomorrow. Is he going to tell us everything is a go?
Is there a storm? There's a storm coming in the Midwest or something. I saw. I thought that was interesting. Can you imagine if like a storm came through and he was doing a rally? But we're supposed to look to Twitter for that. So that would make sense.
Or he said, "Sorry, I've got to go. There's a storm coming.
The storm's upon us. Everybody flip the hell out."
Yeah. And then he tweets from his plane, or he truths from his plane. The storm is upon us. Yeah.
My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. Everybody just flip the hell out.
Better to talk with Mike about 9/11 than the Earth shape. Now, this is really interesting because the course that we took, according to Phil, it should be a straight line. Okay, my course to Amsterdam was not a straight line. It did not. If it was, it would have gone right over the Arctic. It went up around Canada, over Hudson Bay. In other words, it was the perfect course. If the Earth is a globe and it was a parabolic course, it was the most direct route. If the Earth is flat, it would have been a straight line. My course of my aircraft was not a straight line. So, I don't disagree with this at all. The Dome of the Rock needs to come down off of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Yeah, you mean you both don't have $1 million salaries? Yeah, that was one of the things we were joking about at the conference. Was like, how much money we make doing this, Okay. All right, let's see the other questions. My family in New Jersey don't want to hear any of the RV military ops queued on, but I tried so many times. They think I wear a tinfoil hat. I tried. Well, Papa Tex, guess what?
Make them one for Christmas.
Just let them go. Yeah, no, just let them go. When it all happens, you're going to be sitting there strutting your chest out going, see? I told you so.
That'd be so funny. Stuff starts happening and the EBS go off, and the people come over to your house and are like, oh my God, what's happening? Here, put this on. Give him the tinfoil hat. Have it ready. I'd do that. That's what I would do. Just for entertainment purposes. And then I'd video it. But I'm weird. I think lots of random things like that. Weird things are funny. Thank you, Ron. We love you, Ron.
We love you, Ron. Papa Texas again. I'm Matthew. Jen, I'm Matthew. I never met my real father, John P. I found out he passed 3 years ago. Is he aware of my accomplishments, success, family? I'm just wondering. Is Matthew's father, John P., aware of...
Oh, now?
Life? Yeah. I don't know now, but was he aware of it before?
Yeah,
I mean,
this is something that once he got over to the other side was one of the regrets he was counseled on that he had, is that he didn't have a relationship, and so it's kind of caught up. When he was alive, he found out some things. He over the years heard a few things, but it wasn't really until after that he has been watching and learning what's been going on in your life. So
I gotta admit, I sometimes wonder if my ex-wife is ever sitting there watching TV, flipping channels, and all of a sudden I pop up. Hi, how's it going, Jude? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm sure she probably doesn't watch those channels now.
No, but I do wonder if she's aware. Just a big deal. I really am. Not that it would have made any difference, but. Ponipa Beckstrom, Ponipa. The lady with the it looks like pho noodles. When early 2020 situation, I started praying that I'm guided to truth, and Mike's vids popped up on my YouTube feed, and I didn't even know he was on YouTube, as I only saw him on scientific alien shows. That's freaking awesome.
That is awesome.
Corgi Mom, my brother passed away suddenly on Tuesday. I'm very sorry to hear that. Really struggling now.
Sorry.
Would be appreciated. Yeah, you got him, Corgi Mom. You know, you got to understand, folks, there's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to handle the new world that's coming, and they're going to leave. And I'm not saying that's why Kirsty left. I'm not saying that's why your brother passed away. I'm not saying that, but there are people that are going to leave, that would rather leave than face what's coming, which is going to be very different. So, Daryl Reyes, Jen, am I doing my purpose? I always felt it was to raise my 4 kids to become great people to help better the future. Not sure if I have something else to do here.
What better purpose is there than that? There isn't.
Writing books and being on TV.
No.
It's everybody's role.
I mean, that's, people, it's funny because they say, well, do I have a purpose? Do I have something great to do? If you are somebody wonderful or nurturing or the voice in someone's head for just even one person, that is absolutely divine and worth a lifetime.
Yeah.
And the more people that you help, just being that rock for everybody and a mom, come on, a good dad, that's the real stuff. All this other stuff, the job you have and the money you made and the title you have, that all falls away. And what people talk about after you leave is what mom told me or what dad told me or what they cooked or what we did and how we laughed and what it taught me, and that is what lives on, and that is one of the most noble professions. So,
Grazer reportedly AI enhanced. Magnum Mike accidentally deleted you off of Telegram yesterday. I got you back though, so you're a rock and roll guy, Magnum Mike. Here we go again. My sister-in-law Audrey, who had a heart attack while I was watching Mike and Jen on Wednesday, oh my God, is fine with 2 stents installed. Thank you for your prayers. Life is a gift.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, Audrey, I'm sorry that happened.
We weren't on Wednesday. No, we were on Friday. Oh, I was on Friday. Okay.
Betty and Barney, like the road. Yeah, Betty and Barney Hill. It was Betty and Barney Hill. Very famous case, Jen. You should look it up if you want to watch about it. There's documentaries, and there was a movie starring Estelle Warren and James Darth Vader, James Earl Jones as Barney Hill. They were an interracial couple in 1960. It's an extraordinary case. So, pretty good movie. Vicky Berger says, I have increasing pain and inflammation on my left side of my abdomen. Tests in the past came up with nothing but IBS. Can Jen give me more information as to what it could be? Well, certainly in a medical reading she could, but Jen, quickly, anything besides IBS?
Let me look, Vicky. So It is like IBS, but you have a certain area in there that's shaped kind of funny, and that gets inflamed. It gets swollen, and so what I'm seeing is trap gas in there. Okay. So I would do something to, talk to your doctor about reducing the inflammation.
Denise wants to know if she'll be selling her business anytime soon, and if so, when, or will we actually RV before that? Good question.
Oh God, the RV question. Everybody else tried like sneaky way. Well, we're gonna have the RV before that, like, and like so, like, well, for me,
we don't know
when
for
you
sure.
See me going to my appointment, it's like, oh my God.
When's the next time Mike takes a private jet to Las Vegas?
I know.
Man, just
and
tell me
you
that.
know what this is about? It's not that I can't
Mark.
get the answer. It's that I'm so conflicted now after being wrong about it that it's hard. I'm like, oh my God, what if that's wrong? Well, if that's wrong, Anyway, let's do the business, okay? You're gonna keep it for a while. I think you're gonna keep it.
Curry says, Jen, you're not good at these particular abilities because you keep telling yourself you're not good at them. Stop that. I think that's a good point.
What, like finding missing items?
Yeah. You could find missing items.
It's interesting. You know what I used to tell people, because for a long time, I haven't said it in a long time, the reason that I can do the things that I do is because I believe that I can. And so she's probably right. If I take a step back and I don't think, and I don't try too hard, there's not a lot of pressure, I discover some amazing things. You guys have seen me on Telegram when I actually have a full day off, where I'm not cooking or cleaning or running around town or doing healings or something, and I sit and stare is what I call it, and I have time to think. I get all kinds of information. She's probably right.
Bill's Mafia Hitman wants to sign Geno Smith football for Christmas. Suck my balls, Bill's Mafia Hitman.
All right, no, we didn't need that.
DeVito Wade, how did I that? My dog Annie has had diluted urine for over a year, had multiple tests, and the vets can't figure out what's wrong with her. Any ideas? DeVito Wade and her dog Annie with diluted urine.
Email me with a picture. I want to take a closer look at that. I don't want to just do it in a 15 seconds that I have to look.
What is the real reason Liz Truss designed as UKPM? Is it just part of the game? Part of the theater?
So it has something to do with the Queen. Didn't she come in when the Queen was supposedly still around?
She was anointed by the Queen, yeah. Yeah, right. In fact, 2 days before the Queen's death was announced. It's pretty much the last thing the Queen did.
And what was the reason she gave for resigning?
Well, just their government's kind of in chaos. But the thing is, it's interesting.
She's no longer qualified to hold the position, is what I'm getting. Okay. There's some reason why, and it's tied to the Queen, where that she's disqualified. She can't hold it. And I don't know what that is.
It is an amazing read. Pick it up. The Choice by Mike Barra. No excuse, Bill's Mafia Hitman. No excuse. Maria Pinto. Hi, everyone. Is there a particular reason why our little dog Chipper is having coughing, gagging spells occasionally? Has he got acid reflux or something? Doggy acid reflux?
It's really the sinuses dropping down into the throat there. It's congestion. So I check his ears, see if he's got, yeah, you got to take him in.
The thing I keep forgetting about here
with
with my sinus infection and everything is it still hasn't really rained here. And we got these smoky fires here in the Pacific Northwest. It's really keep forgetting how bad the air really is right now.
I think he has an ear infection. I think he's kind of got like he's all stuffed up and it's dripping. So go ahead and take him in. Get some antibiotics.
Jen, trip planned for Florida November 1st through the 7th. What does God say about that week, November 1st through 7th? Chaotic week, good week to travel?
Planned to Florida. Well, let's just talk about you. You'll go and it'll be fine. So what I always saw about this transition, and it's not everywhere, not all at once. There are things going on. There are periodic places where you've got the the problems I saw originally was like after you get the flip, either to Geraci or to Trump, and then they send out whatever hired minions they have left in the streets, in position to cause chaos, riots, looting, whatever. Periodic blackouts, just backlash. And so I think that, and that's why that we've seen that not everybody experiences danger. So, use your own judgment. If you get a feeling like I shouldn't go, don't go. But not getting any impending doom with that trip. Gabriel says that you go, and it's fine.
Mike will hate this, but Gino looks great, and Wilson and Denver looks horrible. At least that's how it looks now. Gino's not looking great. Gino looks great unless you need to score points in the fourth quarter.
All right. So, I don't talk about football right now.
Okay.
I got to get going, though. It's almost
one more question.
2 hours.
We will roll on out of here. Long show.
Long show for nothing to talk about, huh?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff we didn't have anything to talk about. All right. Not doing Trump arrested. Cats are smarter. Jen, does Brett get pissed off that you're right all the time?
I think they count on it. They ask me everything.
Oh, Barkley has just come into the room to tell me that it's time to end this. Little Bear, where are you? There you are. He's right down here. Okay, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here. It was a wonderful show. I appreciate you all. Ron already sent me his mailing address. Wanda, you send me yours. I'll send you a couple of books. I will personalize them for you guys. I love you guys. Thank you very much. Don't forget the CBD Gurus. Don't forget JenniferFallah.com. Don't forget to have a great weekend. Don't forget Friday Night Frolics will be on tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to set that live stream up as soon as we're done here. Keep your eyes out. Things are going to keep happening. It's going to be very interesting over the next couple of weeks, and we don't really know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but we're looking forward to it because things.
But it is going to happen,
and it is going to happen no matter what. Mm-hmm. So it is going to happen. All right, guys, that's going to do it here for Jennifer Fallah, Doreen in Hayden. Well, go ahead and say for yourself. Anything you want to add, Jen, before we leave? Besides, it's going to happen.
Thank you for listening. I'm Jennifer Fallah Doreen. If you'd like to keep up with me, go to Philosophy on Telegram.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right, everybody, have a great one. I'll be back tonight with Brooks and Candace and Blake because my life is pathetic and I have nothing else to do on a Friday night. But I'm going to be drinking alcohol. Maybe I'll drink that scotch that my wonderful friend, whose name I can't remember. Kay, I think. Anyway, I don't think I'll drink scotch.
No, probably not on the show. It's probably not going to be.
Love you guys. Jen and I will be back on Monday, Friday Night Frolics tonight. Have a great weekend if we don't talk to you. But, who knows? The way things are going, we could end up talking to you. So be ready. All right. Love you.